Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Skylight Book Podcast series. You're in for another episode of Better Than the Movie, the show where some booksellers get together with a talented guest to discuss movie adaptations of books. I am your co-host, Justin Remer.
I am Allan Traylor.
I'm Tyler Austin.
Wow, no commit, huh?
He's not French yet.
I guess Tyler.
There you go.
Austin.
There you go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
And today our talented guest is the DJ and bookseller Elisa Garcia. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
And
It's all good.
what book and movie have you brought for us today?
Well, I'm a Gemini, so this is a two-part thing.
All right.
So I just want to now put on record that we are going to do Heat 2 when the movie finally catches up to the book.
Nice.
Oh,
All right.
So I came primarily to claim my spot for that podcast.
Done, deal, signed, delivered.
Yeah,
There's no going back. You can't have Michael Mann on instead of me.
that's true.
Because you'll probably have blown up by then.
Sorry, MM baby. This was booked way ahead of time.
Can you imagine Michael Mann in this library downtown for Heat 2?
I can actually.
Yeah. So he will have to wait because I am going to be the guest for that podcast.
Yeah, fair enough.
But in lieu of that, I chose, I was a little bit insecure about my selection, but as of today, I'm secure in it, and we chose Perfume. Or I chose Perfume.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Indeed. Perfume, the story of a murderer. A novel by Patrick Süskind and a film directed
Story of a murderer or just a misunderstood chap?
and a film directed by Tom Tykwer, written by him and, oh God, I just lost the screenwriters'
Andrew
names.
Birkin and Bern Eckgard.
Oh boy, that doesn't sound right.
Bern
sounds close enough.
Eichener.
Eichinger.
Same time. We'll do it at the same time.
Eichinger.
Eichinger. Okay, we said the same.
Heisenberg.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Got it.
Clearly, exactly.
Same
the
thing, same time.
But yes, the novel came out in the mid '80s. The film came out in the mid aughts.
Naughty oddies.
By DreamWorks. I was like, wow.
Yeah, but
That was so surprising.
Sometimes
Like,
you can be classy.
The DreamWorks logo, come
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
I was like, wow.
especially because in my mind I was like, oh yeah, this is like one of those like Miramax fumbles, and then I was like, Miramax had nothing to do with it.
No.
Straight DreamWorks.
Too much high art.
But I was also shocked because I just out of curiosity I looked up. So in like the U.S. the movie made like $3 million, but in Germany where the book originated, like $55 million. So
Yeah, the total gross was like 130 on a $60 million budget, which was the most expensive German film of all time at that point, which is insane. And yeah, I mean, I was like, how did they make that much money? And I was like, it's
Das
a
Perfume,
runaway smash in Germany. They couldn't get enough of this smelly movie. They loved it. And then here,
Well, yeah,
Well, here it was marketed weird. I feel like the cover never quite sells the movie.
Cover is awful.
Yeah. So
oh
it's
yeah,
like-
the poster that's like a lady turning into rose petals or something.
I always
Yeah.
assumed it was like some period drama, and I was like, that's not for me. I'm not watching that.
I mean, it kind of is, but that's
I mean,
that's
it
not
is,
the.
but like it's so much better than that.
Yeah, it's not like just wigs and whatever.
Right. Got a little bit of wig action.
Yeah.
Well, and apparently that was like the director's whole thing was like he was like period dramas are so stuffy. I want to like actually avoid all the people who are just like it's costumes.
Right.
Like he wanted to get to the point where
It's a dirty fucking movie.
do you know what his nickname was on set apparently because he was so obsessed with getting the dirt right. They called him the Lord of Dirt.
Oh, that's a great nickname.
Good nickname. Honestly, we should start calling you that. To be
Das
honest,
Dirt.
the Dirt Man.
Oh, like that song that's blowing up TikTok right now, Dirt Man.
You lost me, bro.
Dirt Man. What's TikTok?
Oh, you gotta look it up. You got to leave a little dirt under your pillow for the Dirt Man.
Oh.
Anyhow,
That can't be real. Is that real?
it's real.
Oh, man.
It's some dude's song, and then like for whatever reason, like just other musicians have decided to also cover Dirt Man. So there's just like videos and videos of leave a little dirt on your pillow for the Dirt Man.
How many of these have you watched, Justin?
So we usually like to
The better
start.
question is how many has he recorded?
We
No
usually like to
answer.
start.
No answer is an answer.
We usually like to start the show off by discussing the genre of the film, and it's tricky. We've done serial killer things already. It's not, and as you just said, it doesn't feel like historical fiction in that way. So Elisa had the brilliant idea of sensory stories, because this is really about, just smells.
Smells and yeah.
So we're going to go through our picks of other great sensory stories. And Elisa, since you are the guest, please kick us off.
Okay, well, there's two movies that come to mind. One, of course, is Tampopo.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like that movie, just, obviously food, emotion. So that couldn't think of anything scent related. I feel like this is why the story is so unique and I think so good, is because it's one of our five senses.
Yeah.
And the way you connect to it through the story is pretty amazing. So I couldn't think of anything directly related to scent, but I would think Tampopo. And then this movie is...
Well, for a listener that knows nothing about Tampopo, can you just give us like a little capsule of what Tampopo is?
Oh, geez. Well, it's about this lady with the restaurant, right? And I'm trying to remember. And then it goes out of business. It's going to go out of business.
Yeah, it's like a ramen shop or something.
Yeah. But it's also kind of like a Western. Am I remembering it right? A little bit.
Well, because the guy who comes in has got like a cowboy hat, right?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe.
yeah.
The one who's going to help her save her shop is like a cowboy.
Yes, yeah. And I thought of that because it's not. They did turn it into a movie eventually. That wasn't that great, but Midnight Diner, which I think we've all liked, which again is food related and about emotion and how a food connects to your senses or your memory. Which is something that's really big in this, right? Because it's like the smell elicits memories for JB, as I'm going to call him.
Yes.
Jean-Baptiste Grenouille.
And then another, a movie that is not as good, which I did not like, but kind of is sensorial and serial killer, was The Menu.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was gonna watch that, but my mom spoiled the entire plot of that. So.
I think
It's
you
just
could confidently
okay.
skip the whole thing, but it kind of it does have those elements of like sensorial with the food and the experience of food, but then it's also he's a killer.
Yeah.
So I ruined it again for you twice. I apologize.
It's all right.
But
It's Ralph Fiennes, so it's
You knew he's up to
very
something,
good
that
chance
guy.
He's some sort of killer.
Yeah, there's some murder.
Or psychotic.
of the two, I recommend Tampopo if you have not seen it. It's a brilliant movie.
I actually haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. You're in for a treat.
All right.
Yeah.
It's really a delight.
Honestly, might be like one of my top 10 of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those that like maybe it doesn't leap to mind, but whenever I watch it, I'm like, what? Who am I kidding? This is like, it's so good. And in addition to what you would describe, like there's also just like these weird vignettes about food that it kind of cuts away from the main story, and it'll just be like the weird like gangster with his girlfriend and like all the like food sex stuff, like with the eggs.
I think that's by far the most famous visual from
scene,
that movie.
So you would agree with that choice then?
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay.
So good, so good.
And as when we're talking about it now, I'm like, I just feel like, of course, Midnight Diner had to be inspired by Tampopo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ramen shop as well, right? And
Yeah.
like the
Right.
noodles. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And so definitely, yeah. I had very narrow parameters, which are movies that came out last year that are foreign films that both have "of" in the middle. So strap in for Zone of Interest.
Sure.
I'm going to start with that one, and we'll end with the sweet. But like, so Zone of Interest is a movie that kind of does deal a little with smell. Like thinking about it, if you don't know the movie that won Best International Feature and made a bunch of people very angry when Jonathan Glazer had his speech at the Oscars. If you're just hearing about it now, it's on HBO Max or Max. I really recommend it. It's basically this family, the commander, the commandant of Auschwitz, and his family who lives next door. And there are some really sensory moments. Like, obviously, it's huge on sound, and they put a huge emphasis on the sound design of the movie, down to, like, if a guy's riding a horse and saying dialogue on a horse outside, they would, like, pick up the audio by having him on a horse outside. And, or, like, there are a lot of screams of pain and fear, and like they were like, oh, that just never felt right until like they started recording in cities, like in crowded bar districts, and like they would hear people in random shouts and screams.
I thought you were going to say they're going to start torturing people.
They had to make it real.
They
Alan.
had to make it real.
Yeah, as someone who was tortured for Zone of Interest sounds no, but so they like really put an emphasis on getting that, like capturing real live audio that kind of. Again, like you're never seeing it, you're just hearing it, so like your brain's filling it in, so like it's really scratches that sort of auditory itch. But then the smell as well is like, obviously it's a horrifying place to be living next to, and like just every once in a while a character will like breathe in and you notice that they're like just smelling smoke and gas, and you're like, oh, this must be horrible, like that must just be awful. So this is a really bummer of an answer, but a really good answer, a really uplifting evening, unless you had things to say.
I just wanted to break in. It's interesting too, because like that could almost be a future pick. I mean, for because apparently it's an adaptation of a novel.
Yeah, Martin Amis novel that is very different from what I understand, and they took it in a very different direction. So it'd be interesting to compare the two for sure. He, as far as I know, the novel itself was like is a fictional character, and then they basically made it. This is the story of the real guy. They use all real names of Rudolf Hess. But
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's really it's a powerful experience. It's a very, very sensory experiential film, and more than it is like anything to do with plot, which I think kind of fits nicely. The other one, which is an absolute delight and will make your evening better as opposed to way more complicated, is The Taste of Things, which also came out last year and is an absolute delight and is like an amazing movie about cooking and meals and like everything you're seeing.
Didn't see that one either.
It is like, it's truly like in the way that like, you know, the camera's like moving into pans and pots that are like sauteing things, and like you can smell the garlic off the screen. It does give you that.
They dance like in Fantasia and stuff.
I mean,
like
it is very similar. Like it is truly, the first opening 20 minutes does feel like it's choreographed like a dance number, where like the camera's moving around people, and these people are just so in sync in the kitchen, and you're seeing things
That's
getting.
one with Binoche, right?
Binoche and Benoit Magimel. And their chemistry is incredible. They were married in real life. They divorced. They didn't speak for 20 years, and then they made this movie.
Oh, perfect.
And so it is wild. And you should read all the interviews with them together, because they're even as good as the movie. I'd say extra texturally, it adds so much to the movie. It's incredible. It's the Frenchest thing I've ever read in my life.
Sure.
So in terms of like a food experience, that one I cannot recommend enough. It's just like gorgeous to look at. It's like truly you will leave starving. You will be so hungry. And so those are two really good sensory movies that are foreign films from last year with "of" in the middle of them.
Good answers. I've only got really bad answers.
Cool. Let's hear 'em, brother.
For some reason, all I could think of was sort of like extra sensory. I couldn't think of like one that was like specifically, well, except for I thought of Daredevil, which I loved as a kid.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's the story of a young boy who is blind and becomes a superhero.
And then Colin Farrell's there.
And Colin Farrell's the hitman, Bullseye. Yeah. But I also was weirdly thinking of, and I don't fully know why, it has like weird similarities in my head. I just don't know if I can connect the dots, but of Powder.
Oh, sure.
Which is like he's so much of his environment and removed from humanity.
Throwing it back there, Allan.
But he goes in a different direction because he's more of a pure person compared to our boy JBG. But I don't know. There's some weird parallel in my mind of
I can kind
of being so removed. It's like so different and so special that you're just like, oh, I'm just like not even human anymore. And everyone treats him like shit for the most part.
But do you recommend? But would you make that like say a pick? Would you say, yeah, you should check out Powder in 2024?
Well, I don't know if you should, see a movie made by that man. That's sort of unfortunate.
Everything involving that film, Patrick?
I do not. But I remember.
But I mean,
fondly.
like as a story, like
I think as a story, there's some weird connection. Yeah.
Isolate the creators.
I just can't. You're not going to get a soundbite of me telling people to go out and watch Powder right now. So
I think I just did.
No, I don't think so. I think you run that tape back. I skirted it pretty successfully.
I imagine there's a lot of editing that happens with this show.
Oh yeah.
I always say leave it in, but no one ever listens to me.
My pick, similar actually almost to like your Daredevil thought, was just thinking of senses. I was reminded of the Werner Herzog documentary, The Land of Silence and Darkness, which is about people who are both deaf and blind.
Yeah.
And like sort of about the way they're sort of taught to communicate, starting with the fact that like they have no way to see, like how you get through to someone who has no ability to see or hear.
You just gave me a flashback to Johnny Got His Gun, the most haunting anti-war book I've ever read in my life, where he's just like, his whole face is gone. He basically can only communicate through like...
Yeah, he has no limbs, right?
He has like nothing.
Yeah, that
and
book
it's rough.
I had to read it in high school, and it was like left an impression on me.
Yeah, dude, it fucking scarred me.
This is similarly, I would say maybe not quite so traumatic, but this is a similarly intense documentary from Herr Herzog. Like I think 71, 72 is when it was made, but it's just fascinating because it does make you reflect on how much of your like sight and hearing you take for granted, and like just how you would even think, like how you would even process something without the baseline of like picturing something or knowing what something sounds like. So yeah, senses. We got them.
It's kind of like how Stevie Wonder got into a car accident while he wasn't driving. But then he was in a car accident and he woke up from like a 2-day coma and he actually had lost his sense of smell for like a month, which would have been crazy. So he'd been blind with no sense of smell too.
So music probably would have been even better for that 1 month though.
He did get it back. So anyways, if you've never heard that story, anyways. Just to be down 2 of the 5 senses, I mean, that'd be crazy.
It's not great, no.
It seems bad.
Yeah. Well, especially considering like the way that the book especially gets into like that people can detect that Grenouille is there only once he gives himself a scent because the character is scentless, a scentless apprentice as Nirvana.
Scentless apprentice.
Okay, I'm jumping ahead, but I think actually we should go back to Elisa. So what is your history with this story, either as a movie or as a book? Like what brought you to it, and why did you think it would be interesting to talk about it today?
Well, I initially had read it as part of a book group that I was in, and the person that had suggested it, again, this is very interesting. They pitched it as a book about class, and so that was why he was interested in the book. Which is we could have done that, and I feel like we also could have. It's also a story of like obviously the movie is very serial killer, but I felt like we could have done picks about obsession.
Yeah,
right.
Sure, right.
So I feel like that's why the story is very brilliant because it has all these different layers. There is elements of class in it. There is elements of like the human aspect of it.
Yeah.
And how, like, at the end, I mean, I personally, maybe I'm a bad person, but I was, like, cheering for him, like, in that final scene.
Oh, yeah.
In the book.
He's the flourish dude with the handkerchief? Come on, bro. He's just showing off at that point.
But, yeah, initially, that's what it's not a book. Maybe at some point as a bookseller, because I've been one my entire adult life, I would have interacted with that book at some point.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I never... Which is the cool thing about a book group is that people pick things that you normally wouldn't read. And I just was actually like blown away by it when I first read it. And then I saw the movie. I rented the movie shortly after because it was obviously, I rented it from Videotheque. Shout out to Videotheque.
Hey.
Shouts out.
And I just really liked it. And I just feel like it's something that in other countries, as Tyler was pointing out, it was like a huge success. This author, I believe, this is the only thing he's ever published, right?
Well, novel-wise, he has some like short stories and essays and stuff. But
they're all about the different senses, right? Come together as a superhero team, I believe. Yeah.
So, but again, it's mostly just because Heat 2 is not yet a movie that I chose this book.
Right. But it's even so, I think it's a pretty sterling, like not to get way ahead of our ratings, but I think it's a pretty sterling pick. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
You brought something.
It was
good.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
a lot of pressure here and there.
And I will also jumping ahead quite a bit. It is much easier to root for the movie version of our boy than the book version. They make a lot of very clear choices that I thought were interesting.
They do.
Yeah,
we'll
get into it.
They adapt.
Yeah.
All right, take us through the plot, Tyler, and we'll chime in and whatever. But
interrupt. I believe is what we call
it. Well, that's usually chime in is a polite way.
Well, all right. So let me interrupt immediately.
See,
I do think this is my take, but I want to know if you guys agree. Like, I feel like this at least plot-wise, is the most faithful adaptation attempt that we've had. Because I feel like even though there's a lot of nuance that's different, as Elisa was suggesting, there's a lot of beat by beat that I think is pretty faithful from book to movie.
I will say the second half of the movie is basically beat for beat.
Yeah.
The beginning is fairly different because they're focusing on different things.
Yeah.
And also the book weirdly, like, it follows him for most of it, and then suddenly you're just following other characters.
Right.
And he's
Right,
just, like,
yeah.
killing people in the background. You're like, wait, hold on now. Hold on, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah. Which the movie kind of does.
They kind of do.
They try to do that.
But
And
the movie gives it way more of a focus, way more of like a goal, an achievable goal with literally like ticking off of time.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We'll get into it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say also just quickly before we even get into the plot, I was going to say, following up Elisa's point, which is really interesting, it is about so many different things. And like part of this becoming a movie is like the directors who are really interested in it. Like I think you can kind of chart how they were obviously all very interested in this book and this story because they can relate to it in this idea of like, this is a guy who is so obsessive about this one thing that he's willing to go to like any length to create it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I mean, Kubrick was the one who like initially was trying to do it. And
Christopher Nolan's got to love this one, right?
he's
got to love it.
You must think he must. I mean, it is interesting.
12 vials, just like an o'clock. He loves time. Come on, bro.
If only he could find, and it is true, they do some jumping around. He could do a little, time jumps and things.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Kubrick was like the original guy who basically said it was like, he deemed it unfilmable. So I was very interested, and I kind of felt interestingly, like after reading it, or reading probably a good chunk of it before watching the movie, I was like, it's going to be really hard to convey the way that this is reading on film, and I think it mostly they do a good job. But anyway, you made me think of that, and I didn't want to forget it. So it's also about obsession, and I think which is really cool, obsession with like your art or your craft, which really can like hit for a lot of people who are creatives. So,
but maybe different goals compared to the book version of him. Than
you don't think Stanley Kubrick killed 13 people to make any of his movies?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure.
A lot of blood on his
13, hands. And he put them in a little vial.
Yeah.
All right. Plot summary. So we start literally with the birth of
a trash baby.
Of a trash baby. Really, we first start with Paris smells bad.
Yeah.
That opening of the book is pretty. I mean, it's intense. It's good.
Sets the scene of. It sets the scene of. There was a point in time where everything smelled bad, but then Paris was particularly bad because it was the biggest city and they had the most trash and disgusting things in one place. And so
there's something to be said that humans equals trash.
We love to make
it concocting his own scent and using very trashy scents.
He knows what he's going for. So a young baby is born under a fish market table, and as we come to learn, the mother has had multiple births like this, and the baby's either stillborn or basically like half dead, and she's like totally happy and willing to let this baby just die under the table and get swept away with the rest of the fish guts at the end of the night until he cries. And he, people realize...
he sniffs first.
He sniffs, and then he makes a choice.
Yes.
To cry.
That's right.
And alert people of his presence, and then get his mom hanged immediately.
Yeah. Whoops.
Or I guess...
anyone that has anything to do with him does not end up great.
Yeah, he's a real cursed figure in that way.
He's a walking monkey's paw.
If he's not killing people, it's there. He leaves death in his wake for some reason. So he like ends up in like the Paris French system of like wet nurses, and none of them like him. From the jump, he is unliked. He is unloved by
even
anyone
children.
who comes. Just immediately try to suffocate him in an orphanage. He like in the book again. One of the things they cut out in the movie is there's a brief scene where he's with like a parish, the father Terry, I want to say is his name, Terry, some father. Anyways,
Father Poo-Poo?
He had Father Poopity Poop.
Poopity Poop.
Poopity Poop. He keeps trying to. He's like, maybe for a moment. Oh, maybe I'll take this baby in. And the wet nurse has complained that he has no smell. Mm-hmm. It's going to be important.
Yep.
And babies usually smell like caramel or like milk. And then he's like, all of a sudden, like something about the baby. It's just like he turns and he's like, I got to get this kid away from me.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm going to throw it in a different parish.
Somebody's got to take this kid.
I'm going to toss him as far as I can.
Something.
Well, the movie doesn't even introduce he doesn't have a scent until like halfway through.
Yeah.
When the Jean Baptiste realizes it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is in the book. He also in the book he doesn't realize it.
Right.
But we are aware of it. before.
Earlier,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are saying he has no scent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels almost like Süskind is like threading it through that's why everybody just is a little put off by him is because they realize like there's nothing coming from. I'm not getting anything from him.
Scent is basically the soul, right? And he doesn't have a soul.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't have the capacity of love, however you want to describe it, maybe. That was my takeaway. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, that feels right. No, I mean, honestly, I would to throw this back to it. We did another serial killer-y psychopath. I got like Ripley vibes from this as well.
For sure.
Again, with the class and like him working his way through and trying to like find a place for himself, but in this case through the use of scent as opposed to like social capital, basically. So,
Have you read Ripley, Elisa?
I haven't, but you did it. I listened to the episode with Emily.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
All right.
It's good. Really
good
It was
enough.
my
Good
primer
enough.
for
Yeah.
being here. with
Oh,
you
I
all today.
understand. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way we left anything important out. So it's probably-
Yeah, we
you're probably
covered
good on
every
it.
last important part of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we kind of chart his childhood. He ends up at an orphanage with. Does anyone remember the woman's name? These French names are like don't stick in my
Madame
brain.
Gaillard.
Madame
Gaillard.
Gaillard. So he ends up there for a while.
Madame G.
They again, other orphans almost immediately try to suffocate him in his bed.
Yeah.
Because they're just like there's something off about this guy. He's there for a number of years, and we kind of learn a lot about her. And again, like the class element of like all she wants is to like have a private death, which this book does what I love with those types of things, where it's like postscripty things, where it's like
Yes, I enjoy that as well.
It's so fun. It's like like Y Tu Mama Tambien does that as a movie, which I love. But like he moves through the orphanage and eventually gets to become a tanner's apprentice. Which
Well,
sounds-
he's sold.
Yeah.
He's sold. He's literally sold. That's true. Like given away. Yeah, here, take him, exchange him. And but when he leaves there, we find out that she lives very long. She lives to be like 99, and but like because of the French Revolution and the way that her money works and her annuity, she ends up in like a really public, like the exact opposite of what she
what
wants.
she wanted, yeah.
She dies in a bed with like 3 other women and ends up in a mass grave, and that's
Oh, right.
the end
Because
of
she
her.
didn't. Yeah, she didn't want to end up in a hospital, but like she lives too long.
She lives
Yeah.
outlives her like money or like the times and stuff. Yeah, it's really
And then ends up- and then ends up in a hospital or in a mass grave.
in a mass grave with lie draped over her. So yeah, so we lose her. Then he becomes a tanner and he works for Grimal the tanner.
Lovely guy.
Sounds like a good dude and great working conditions.
Yeah.
Honestly, being a tanner
Sort of
sounds
work till you
great.
drop situation.
Yeah, it's basically like they're unskilled labor. They're easily gotten rid of, but like
And particularly children, right?
it's young children who can like
Well,
do
because
this
they're not
work.
expected to live very long.
Right.
Right.
So yeah.
And I guess in
Brutal.
this system they don't have many. There are more children than there are tanner's apprentices jobs. So
Apparently.
or children who don't have homes, basically. So he works there. He gets anthrax. He almost dies, but then he survives, and that becomes like a huge. He like gets promoted because he's like, oh, he can't get anthrax again from these dirty leather hides. How awesome!
Yeah. We can work them even harder now.
This is great. And then
That's where it starts to diverge.
Yeah, it
from
gets
the
to the
book.
point where exactly. Well, in the book, it's at this time he gets a night. Starts to get a night to himself because he's like worked his way up, and that's when he bumps into the first woman. Is that right? Or is that too early? Am I forgetting? I think it's.
But wait, so you're summarizing the book or the movie?
Oh, sorry. Book,
Sort of
and then we
both.
kind of
Okay, both.
book
Okay.
kind of
first.
jump back
Yeah.
and forth. Yeah,
Got it.
right. In the book, I believe, or maybe I'm confusing it with the movie. It's that he gets like a night off finally because he's like worked hard enough at the tannery, and then like it's the fireworks night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at that point when because it's not once he's already with Giuseppe. It's before Giuseppe, right?
It's before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's at that. Yeah. So this is where the book takes, I would say, a turn.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's sort of in the title a little bit, but it was definitely like we learn he has this like superhuman scent
Capacity of
nose,
smell.
capacity of
Olfactory sense.
olfactory,
And
is
like
the way to put
also
it.
as they play it in the movie, like he has such he's able to detect so much layer of smell. Like he doesn't even have words to describe how much differing smell
Yeah.
he's able to pick apart from everything.
He's sort of like
Yeah.
just drifting in a reverie with his eyes closed, like through a throng of people. Yeah.
Yeah, which
Through
even
fireworks and smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Even as a kid, they say like they tried for him to go to school. He like doesn't speak until he's 5.
Right.
And like, but he
And
just
he-
like
then
wants
it's
to
just
walk
to
and
name
smell.
the smells.
Yeah, he just wants to walk and smell. He loves it.
I was saying this is where it diverges the most from the book, I think, is because in the movie version, he's a lot more, at least in the beginning, innocent. He's just kind of following. Whereas in the book, he's pretty conniving from the beginning because he decides fairly early on through circumstance, of his whole life that everyone else fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically, I guess, at every turn, everyone rejects him and wants to either
Including
cause him
his own
some
mother.
physical
Yeah.
harm. I mean, basically, there's a point, and I clocked this as reading because it's like really, it's such a jump. But like he basically is walking through the fireworks. He's like smelling everything. He captures this like whiff of a scent. He like tracks it down through like a courtyard. He like finds this woman who's cutting up plums, and then it's basically like he sees the woman. And then she's dead.
well, like
Yeah.
like 14-year-old girl.
14-year-old girl. Yeah, woman is unfair to put. Yeah, a teenage girl.
And he's fairly young at this point in the book. In the
Yes.
book.
Yeah, he's
In-
still also a teen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's very, he's not, he's a teen tanner assistant as well. And then basically it's just like, he smells her. And then like, it's like, so she's dead now.
Yeah.
And he's sniffing her.
But he doesn't. He's not attempting to murder her. It
Yeah.
just happens because he kind of because I'm confusing the book and the movie, but
In the movie, they definitely play it as an accident.
Yes.
Yeah.
sort
He's
of.
like trying
Yeah.
to sort of,
He's just trying to keep her quiet so he can sniff on her a little bit more.
yeah.
yes.
And, oops, killed her.
Sorry, I just had a joke that I can't say. I'm not gonna-
Because it's also like in the book, it definitely is like explicitly like she doesn't smell awful like most people.
Right.
Like every part of most people is awful, but every part of her smells great.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like this thing he's never smelled, but like once she's dead, it fades, and that's like becomes this sort of quest in many, I think, kind of planted there. But so, anyways, he murders, but that's going to be a theme. It will recur. So then from there, basically he's still with the tanner until we meet Giuseppe Baldini, who's a longtime perfumer. He's Italian.
More of a charlatan in the book for sure, because in the
Yes.
movie they don't underline that like he never came up with his scents in the first place.
Yeah.
In the book, it's like he stole other people's recipes
Yeah.
and that's what he made his fortune on.
Totally.
Like,
And
And
like
that's why he believes that
inherited-
talent doesn't exist because he doesn't have any.
Yeah,
That's why he's
exactly.
so mad about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like inherits his dad's business and then literally just like does other people's things.
Yeah.
But does know the ropes of the perfuming business.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Jean-Baptiste comes and drops off some leather hides, and then just is basically like, rosemary, bergamot, bum, 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 bum.
He just sort of turns around and he's like, "Oh, you're trying to make it smell like this," and he's like, what?"
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he's like,
It's
"Oh,
like-
it has all these things." And he's like, keep going."
You gonna say more? So yes, and we come in. Baldini's like trying to replicate a new perfumer's perfume that's like all the rage, and he can't do it anymore. He doesn't have the sharpness. He's like literally has resolved to sell his business and move to Italy, and then knock, knock, knock. He's at his door, and this kid is like, "You're trying to match his perfume. It's not a good perfume.
Yeah.
It's not good.
So
it's all over your nose."
So in the movie, it's Ben Whishaw plays Jean-Baptiste,
Yeah.
JB. I think this is the first movie I ever saw him in. Like,
For sure.
what's your take on Ben as JB?
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's incredible.
I
Like,
always think he's a great actor in almost everything I've ever seen him in. But yeah, I think his version is excellent.
because I would think like I think the book is so good and the movie's decent, but I was like, I think it was one of you before this was like, if they remade it now, I would still have chose him to play him.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just think he really nails it.
Yeah.
Like all the emotions. I think he does a great job.
Yeah.
And he's so young, right?
He's super young. It's crazy. And he's like a good physical match because they describe him as like this kind of very slight and like you almost think once he's grown up, he's like a hunched over teenager. Like he kind of matches the physicality really well. Which also, again, just to the thing we talked about a lot before is like, how are they going to visualize this? And I was like so tickled at the very beginning of the movie when it's like he's in a jail cell, but like they perfectly light him so
just
that
the
only
silhouette of his nose
is in the light. I was like, okay, all right. I see where we're going. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
They know what they're doing. So he basically proves his worth to this perfumer very quickly by being able to like name all the ingredients and like literally recreate it very, very fast.
But in the book, it's so funny because he's just lecturing the whole time of how dumb he is, how you don't do shit this way. And then he smells the product and he's just like sitting back to his childhood.
Oh, yeah, right. He has a Ratatouille moment.
Yeah.
Well, and so I guess in a similar way, like, does Dustin Hoffman as Baldini feel like as good of a fit?
No.
Not
It's
really.
so funny.
No.
It's pretty funny, but yeah.
No.
He's sort of doing a not accent.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, I don't know if I...
No.
Okay, so you think...
No.
So you think maybe...
No.
Okay, so your take is...
No.
Okay, all right.
It did feel like a distracting choice.
It's crazy. What did you think, Elisa? Sorry.
I didn't remember him being in the
I
film,
also
and so
didn't
like
remember.
I literally laughed when I saw him.
Shocking. It is a shocking...
It sort of feels like maybe he just really already liked the book and just wanted to be in it. It's like, I don't know, man.
Was he that popular at that time that having him in this film would really have contributed to people coming to watch it?
I mean...
More so than Alan Rickman?
Maybe. I mean, Rickman's in Harry Potter at that time, at least. So that's like a big get.
Yeah.
I honestly
Snape is loose.
realized that I misremembered some moments from this film as being like in Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium or whatever the hell that one's called.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, no, never mind. This is this one where he's a like weird
Perfumed.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, first of all, like I barely recognized him when he came on screen. It took me a second and I was like, this is Dustin Hoffman. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
But I was just trying to picture him on set, like getting the pancake makeup and his little mole and like the wig. And I was like, he must have been a nightmare. Anyways, just like, but him trying to do like, basta.
Yeah, it felt weird.
Felt
Whereas the audiobook guy, his version is amazing.
A+. He's great.
So fucking funny in the book.
Because it's such a significant point in the book.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remember really liking, you were telling me about your favorite part, and I think I agree when we get to that later, but when he makes the perfume and the accomplishment he feels and the validation he feels, like at that part of the book, I was like, okay, I'm on your team.
Yeah.
You know,
it's really cool.
Because you said he's lecturing him, and again, it's like issues of class. Like, what could you possibly know? Like, you're the greatest knows, but this is how the system works.
Right.
And who are you to come in here and try to tell me?
And he's like,
How it's
I'm
done.
done, by the way. And he's like, huh, what? The fuck?
Oh.
But
Okay.
I feel like that is a miss in the movie, is that it's such a significant moment for him as a character.
Yeah.
And they kind of made it comedic with Dustin Hoffman and like kind of like
They rushed through it
Yes.
a little bit.
that's what they did exactly.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I think
And
it still works, but yeah, the book is so much more powerful. for
the
sure.
relationship in the book is like so much more complex. I think where
Yeah.
it's like also, you know, they really do. They work together for several years, and like he really learns from like even as
Yeah, even in the book, he's like not trying to take advantage. He's like, I do want to learn from him.
Yeah.
And I'll give him the perfumes because I don't give a shit.
yeah,
Like,
this
I
is
can
not
crank these out
at
forever.
all. Yeah, right. Yeah. When he's about to leave, and he's like, you can't reproduce any of your perfumes. Like, okay. I don't know.
See ya.
I'm not swearing an oath to anything because I don't care. Any of these are no conditions to
Sort
me.
of a murderer about to be set loose.
So not my
rules
big
don't mean shit
concern
to me.
here.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, they like really, he does learn from him, and like he does help Baldini, and they kind of like each of them, their station sort of grows, and like they have this, like even they have a whole thing where Baldini's like, he feels like he's really helping just by like figuring it out and like writing the recipes. Like he feels like he's as much of a part of it. But then the second he leaves, he's also like, I never liked that guy. Yeah. Which is like, so there's so much more in their relationship in the book.
Well, also, I don't remember, was there as much of a thing in the book as there is in the movie that the whole reason that JB is there is because he's like, I need to understand how to hold scent so I don't lose it again like I did with the dead woman.
I think it's
Teenage girl.
Yeah.
It's kind of there. That's a different, right? Because in the movie, it's about how like he's like, you lied to me. You said I could get sent from anything, and it's
I would
like
also
this big moment.
say in the movie, it's very clear that maybe he doesn't have the perfect memory that he has in the book. Because in the book, it's more about cataloging because he doesn't forget scents. Because he can lose himself in the memory of smells.
Yeah.
So the need of like capturing the scent is a little bit less in the book than it is in the movie. In the movie, it's like he's literally trying to capture lightning in a bottle again, and this is the only way he can do it.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because in the movie, it's a much bigger deal when he's like, I can't capture the smell of glass, or like I can't capture copper, and like why can't I? And like Dustin Hoffman Baldini's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then
Mamma mia.
and that's like a big dramatic moment.
He's a little like a little too mellow when he pulls the dead cat out of the distillery.
I know.
as
It's
well.
like, that's your cat, bro.
He's just like, don't try to get the cat smell
from a
by
cat.
drowning. Yeah.
What kind of a human are you?
And then in the book, I feel like it's almost a couple lines where it's like JB's like, it's disappointing. He can't get the smell from water or whatever. Like he's trying, but it's not happening. And it's like they made that a much bigger moment of like to establish, I think, what his character is going for. Right, is like the cataloging.
Yeah, he needs the preservation for sure. Yeah,
his Dexter serial killer blood drop slides, as it were. Yeah. Okay.
also the when the Tanner guy sells him to Baldini, he fucking gets so lit he just fucking drowns.
Does a header right
The
into
same
the sand.
night. The same night.
Same night. Yeah, he's like
in the book. It's like literally underneath him, right? It's like under his window or some shit, or it's like that close to him.
By the time
There's some like message like that, like he's floating by or some shit.
Well, he's like, I made the best deal ever. Let me get fucking hammered.
Let me just get loaded.
The header right into the river, and he's out of there. Yeah, that's wild. Well, so then Baldini, their relationship, I mean, basically, like, he works for him in the book, he gets really sick as well. I'm trying to remember how much they cover that in the movie. Like,
it's a little bit. He gets sick.
He's just like, it's the liar moment and all that. But in the book, he, like, gets measles and syphilitic measles.
Oh, the doctor that comes in is like, he's got syphilitic measles with a touch of, like, bubonic plague, like what the fuck ever. He's just like adding everything.
He will be dead in 48 hours.
Yeah.
I'll take $5. I'll give you $5 back if you give me his body.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that body when he dies. Though.
Which is even funnier in the book than when he's like, wait, is there another way to capture scent? And he's like, oh yeah, there's like 3 other ways. Oh, I feel better.
Yeah. I sort of want to live still.
Bounces back immediately. So yeah, they're played differently, those moments. And then from there, he's with Baldini, and basically like Baldini has all these grand designs of like doing personalized perfumes for the king, and like everything kind of comes together until finally like, and again, as part of the explaining to him the 3 ways, right? He explains there's a place where he can go where he's worked where there are other ways to capture scents.
Is it in Grasse where all this happens?
Grasse, yeah. Which is, I think, in the southern part of France. But he needs his journeyman papers to get there. And so after 3 years, Baldini gives him his journeyman papers. And he, again...
in exchange for, like, hundreds of, like, perfumes.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I thought was so funny is that they talk about how JB basically, like, instead of like just whooshing the fluids around like he wants to, he at least makes a show of just like swirling them so that way Baldini feels better about it. It's like, okay, he's not just sloshing this stuff.
He's not an animal. And again, so same thing now, he basically is allowed to move on. Baldini's got all these grand designs. You know, if we're going to keep going, he's bought another house like next to his house. And then that night when he's asleep, his entire house falls into the river and he drowns and dies.
And they don't find him or his wife.
And the only thing they eventually find are like the scents start to rise up from like the river, and they have to like clean that out. Basically, it's like there's some vials, but everything else is
life's legacy.
Oh, because he's like, he's got all the recipes, all the new recipes in his jacket pocket, and like those are all gone. Like they never find anything. So there you go.
Yeah,
another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he finished telling him what he needed to know, and then book doesn't need you anymore, bro.
Yeah, the curse of Jean-Baptiste he continues.
He reaps through another another crew. So then the book, I mean, there's this long sort of passage where he's just living
in a cave
alone.
It's basically his sensory deprivation tank.
It's like incubation period.
Yeah.
Where he just sort of like gorges on like the memory of sense and like kind of just completely forgets to be human for like 7 years in the book.
It's a long time in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 years. I think it speaks to, again, like his just like, yeah. He's more than happy to have no contact, no human contact.
Yeah, because he finds the cave and he's like, "Oh shit, this is great! I've never experienced this."
Right.
ever."
And
Well, there's
yeah.
also the key thing. There's no smells there.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
animals have lived in this cave. It's
Yeah.
like it's a clean slate for him, and so
Right.
he's able to like rest and go into his memories and harvest all these
Right.
smells that he's been absorbing since he was born.
Right. And like catalog, and yeah, he's in his mind palace.
Yeah.
Getting high on
As
his own
like
supply.
yeah, he's getting super high on his supply. He wakes up 7 years and is like, "Oh shit, what
have
happened?"
I been doing?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a horse blanket. He can just hang
Yeah.
out. So yeah, well, so from there, he then actually makes it down to I shudder to pronounce it Gras.
Yeah, just Gras.
Gras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's French. I don't know. Anyways, I'm working on it.
Is she
Gras.
getting married in France?
Don't
Okay.
worry about it.
She
Longe.
probably pony up. Okay.
I learned that one.
Yeah, they'll love it.
So he's in Gras, and there's where he also then begins to basically apprentice again. Right.
But first,
Yeah,
Oh.
the
Am I
best
getting
part
something?
of the book.
he comes out of the cave,
Oh,
and
right,
they're
the
like, "Oh my
fluidism?
god, he's a beast man."
yeah,
Yeah,
what's the science? It's like fluidism.
Influviism or something?
Fluviism. Yeah.
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 Dude,
But-
all that
but it-
shit with that guy, I was laughing.
Amazing.
from
But also,
Yeah.
it's kind of like Planet of the Apes again, where it's like, I need to present this
Yeah.
person to society to be like, look at this ape man, or, this.
yeah. I will
beast man that
lecture
I've-
on him for yes. Yeah. He tours him around a little bit.
Yeah, that's not in the movie at all, right?
Yo, they
No.
skip. They're like, we could spend a lot of time here.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to skip it entirely.
We're at 2:28 right
Because
now. I don't know.
I
if we
mean,
have
I would
time
watch an entire movie on that guy.
on that guy and
Of
his,
him spreading bull semen on flowers, trying to make flowers that deliver milk. Like what the fuck?
milky
Smart guy.
flower
Yeah.
Smart guy.
stuff. Yeah.
And then like dies climbing the what mountain is he trying to climb so he can get further? Because his whole thing is like
yes.
the closer you are to Earth, the Earth toxins that make everything terrible.
Yes, they're the gaseous
Yeah.
earth toxin. Yes.
So the higher you are, like, which is why heads grow from the ground to get away from the toxin. It's like, dude, this is
incredible.
amazing.
Oh, yeah, because the thing in the book is that he uses, Jean-Baptiste uses some excuse. There's like, what was it that like made him like react that was like close to the ground? Like,
Violets. Violet perfume.
The smell of violets. He's like, oh, I'm reacting badly. Get it out of here. And then he's like, I need to make my own perfume to like counteract it. But really what he's making is human scent. So that way he can pass for a normal person and return to society.
yeah.
And he doesn't do that at all in the film, right? Create a scent for himself to smell
Not
human.
really,
It's
no.
not his.
He sort of uses
goal.
his non-scent in order to murder,
Yeah.
which is what he does in the book as well. But like, they don't really focus on his like fear of not having a scent quite as much. It's like a full-on existential crisis in the book.
Yeah,
when he
it's
finds out
so
he doesn't
good.
have a scent.
Yeah.
That part of the book is really
And he's
good.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I need to become a person. I need to do
Yeah.
better. Like, oh, fuck, I just ruined my life.
Yeah, it's definitely more explicit of just like without a scent, he's a non-entity. He's
Right.
not. Yeah, he's not.
And
real.
they sort of to get away with it in the movie with the narrator pops in again and he's just like,
Yeah.
sort of says what he's thinking. He's like, he's determined to
Yeah,
let people know he exists, which is like,
it's
it's a
slightly-
summary of what the book is trying to do, but it's not quite the
It
same.
leans more to like him trying to create this like almost like perfect perfume or
Like a
something, right?
master
like announcing
stroke.
himself.
Yeah.
Like his exactly, as opposed to like trying to re-enter society
Right.
in a way. Yeah.
yeah,
Which is
like having
Yeah.
having the perfume that will like announce himself
As,
which he ends up announcing himself like about to be executed.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that nice like turquoise suit, bro. Come on.
Looks good.
Get you some of those buckle shoes for your wedding.
I could go for it. I mean,
Turquoise buckles only,
You gotta
boys.
turn it up.
he's got like an Austin Powers look to him, so maybe that's what I need to do. Velvety,
Yeah.
big flowy lacing sleeves. Okay,
It's going to be a good look on
Take
you.
some notes. I mean, I don't have a suit yet. I'm gonna figure it out.
Oh, you got to get a suit.
I know. Tell me about it. It's what people keep telling me. It's 2 weeks away. Don't
As of
worry.
recording, Tyler is still not married.
Still not married. But by the time it comes out, I still won't.
Yeah.
They'll be close, though. Much closer.
Because next week is when the episode comes out.
So then the following week, then I'll be married. Anyway,
This is all the French preview to your marriage.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is
my masterstroke there.
It's going to smell bad. That's all what I understand about France.
Yeah, no other notes.
Yeah, no. Where were we?
Okay, so now,
we skip
He's
over
out of
those.
the cage.
Yes, the lecture man. Yes, and then
Although I was very sad that it wasn't in the movie at all. But
yeah, we missed that. Oh yeah, and again we were talking. Yes, that he basically his different motivations, which is
because in the film he just bounces from the cave to the new perfumery.
Yeah,
But
they skip over how he gets there.
Right.
Like, pretty. Yeah.
Right, because in the book they really just hit on the fact that he's like trying to hide from like if there's travelers on the road, he would like go the other way. Like he's really trying to remove himself from society,
Right.
and like achieves that goal for 7 years.
Yeah.
and then is like, actually, I need to do this, and now I have a weird patron who believes in this pseudoscience that can
Help me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he ends up at the big new perfumerie. Where he like learns basically like at this point in the book and the movie is where we really get into the killing.
Yeah.
We get to the killing, and it's like he's like experimenting with like how to capture the human scent. That's what he sort of becomes obsessed
in
with.
the book, is it because he smells lore through a wall that he's like, oh, I've got to capture this, but first let me test it out on 24 other people.
Right? Yeah, it's sort of unclear like why
he tested out once.
building to her. I mean, I guess he's
Well,
in the
she's
movie 13th, right? Is that the
much more clear why he's building to her.
Yeah.
But in the book, it is very murky. Yeah.
The movie creates this idea of the perfume cord.
Yeah.
Right.
Which isn't in the book, really, right?
I
There's
don't
nothing
remember
about a
any of
cord.
that.
Well, in the book, when he first encounters Law, she's too young and her scent is not yet mature.
Oh,
and
that's
so
right.
he's like, I have 2 years to perfect my craft to capture her scent at its
Specifically.
like utmost prime,
Whereas
powerful.
in the movie, he's like, her scent is going to be the kicker.
Like the
that
top
makes
note.
Everything
Yeah.
extra
work.
the chord,
Yeah.
the perfect chord, the bum note.
Where in the book, I feel my interpretation was it's like all these previous young women are just like practice to get to her.
Yeah. That's kind of what it feels like, right? He wants to get it exactly perfect,
Right.
And like we
When he takes the opportunity, he has to execute it perfectly.
yes, right, exactly.
But in the movie, it's more like he's this mastermind trying to create.
yeah, and we see him like again collect his little vials of like each. Yeah,
He's like, this young woman's thing will be this and this.
And there's like the 80s music pops in, the montage kicks off.
So many boobs in this movie, just like a lot.
Yeah.
And
It's France, man. I don't know what to tell you.
especially in the climax, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
No dudes kissing, but
Oh yeah,
there was a few
true.
dudes kissing.
They're worth few.
Yeah. I seen them.
You
bro.
just weren't looking, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I think more than anything, and again, it's in my mind, right? But I felt like the film was sexualized his violence way more than he actually did in the book. Because I feel like he's not innocent, but he's just so ignorant of like.
Yeah, he doesn't know what anything is.
Right.
And he doesn't know words for things. And so, like, when he gets her scent, he's just like, in the movie, he's just like smelling her up and down because he's like out of control. He's kind of just a wild animal.
Yeah.
Who's like caught like a really good scent.
Kind of
And he just can't really control himself.
Yeah, it was interesting because I don't know like what it's trying to say because like he's only ever capturing the scent of women and like specifically virgins, right? I think we
And
learned
they're all like gingers with like freckles, so it's like it's,
Right, he
it's
has,
some sense of beauty.
So like I don't know what like why that like because he's not like he's not like a sexual being really. I don't think,
Right.
like you don't get that.
But in the
sense.
movie, I feel like they tried to make him that way.
like it kind of plays with it a little.
yeah, there's definitely like the trope of the like pervert killer.
Yes, right,
Yes.
which he doesn't really fit into, but like he only
Sort of like a vampire kind of situation. It's like stalking.
Yeah.
It's inherently sexual what he's doing, but I don't think the character itself would view it that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's almost so antisocial. He's like asexual, almost practically. I mean, but yeah, it is more in the book, and I guess that's just the nature of movies. Like, it's going to be more.
Yeah, and it might. It's also probably like there's the concept in the book where he's like, he understands that people will be like, oh, he's pursuing their beauty, not understanding that really all I care about is that sweet, sweet smell.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I don't really
Which
care
is
what they
their
look
actual
like.
beauty.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Because in the book he's like describing, he's like, oh yeah, they're gonna say these women are beautiful and whatever, and it's like, but they don't understand it actually is real beauty, and it's because of the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he goes on a spree.
yeah.
And
It gets away from him a little bit.
he can say things get out of pocket.
Well, that's it. Yeah, in the book it's 24 people, and
Yeah.
There's
in
a
the movie
lot
it's
of
12.
murders.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Which I heard a really interesting read from that basically like. Because so this town like goes on crazy lockdown, and they're trying to do everything they can to sort of capture the killer. And like the reading of that I heard was I read somewhere was that like it's sort of a allegory for like the rise of fascism in Europe, where it's like they're rounding up the types of people they're rounding up, and the way that they're sort of locking down the whole town, and like
They're blaming the immigrants.
blaming immigrants.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
comes
they
to
blame
pick in
the
the fields.
fields, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
blame
they're-
the Italians, and then they're like, "Oh, maybe it's the Jewish people," and it's like, "Oh, what's going on?"
It's there. So I mean, again, this is such a heavy, kind of a load bearing story. Like you can put so much onto
Yeah.
it. It's really very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's killing ladies, and then he eventually
And perfecting his craft.
and perfecting his craft. Which right was so yeah. He learns that it's basically like the best way to do it is to cover these people in animal fat and then wrap them in like
Muslim-
cloths.
yeah, Muslim
like kind
cloth.
of basically turn them into a mummy, and then
Juicing them. He's juicing them.
Yeah, it's
Cuts off the hair.
so it's like
right, yeah, specifically cuts the hair, yeah.
And then like rings it through their hair as like the final process.
yeah,
Or Is that
At
what
least
I
in the
saw,
movie,
right?
yeah,
in the
yeah.
movie,
yeah.
because it doesn't describe it in the book, but it says like he gets the smell from does something to get the smell from the hair and the clothes because that's the easiest or something like that. But but it's enfleurage, which is
There you go,
that's the
yeah.
process that's
Right,
used
right.
with flowers, and he's like, well, I'm going to take the flower of these young people.
Exactly right. Well, because in the movie they have the moment where he puts the woman in the tank.
I
And it-
hated that scene.
That
That
was-
was like so unnecessary and dumb.
It's completely unnecessary, and like it's like a weird played for like suspense of like, are people gonna see what's
Yeah.
in the tank? Like,
She's like, what you got in this tank? And he's like, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Don't touch me tank.
Don't look in me tank.
That's my tank. Nah.
It's like,
Why is the tank covered?
right?
Yeah, it's not a yeah.
And like the foreman comes in, he's like, "What's going on in here?"
Yeah,
It's
don't
like,
seem
oh
to be
no,
working
there's
to
too
me,
many
mate.
people in the tank room.
I don't like it. Yeah, he.
I remember in
Yeah.
the trailer that woman in the tank was a significant part of it, and I remember
Yeah.
like this movie looks so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely like meant to be an evocative image.
It's like over the top.
and it just
Yeah.
like doesn't quite play. Yeah.
Right.
So then, yes, he perfects his craft and is starting to collect these things. And then basically, like, by the way that they've shut down the town, and her father is Antoine. What's his name?
Alan Rickman.
Alan
Rickman is his name.
Whishaw.
Yeah, Rishi.
Rishi.
And Antoine Rishi, I believe.
Antoine Rishi. Like
I said, Alan
realizes. Has a sense that it's about his daughter, and he's got to get her out of there and get her married.
Well, he mentally gets the formula of it all. He's like, this person is collecting.
Yeah, he's the only guy that gets it.
is
Understands
collecting
why.
women, and my daughter is the most beautiful woman in all of France,
Yeah.
and so it makes sense that he's going to come for her specifically.
Yes.
He doesn't know it's because of the scent, but it's I like that part in the book too. It's like he gets in the mind of JB,
And
is
the
like,
book itself is like, he is correct in a wrong way, but he is correct.
He has
Yeah.
muscle. He's figured it. He's noodled it through to
Yeah.
get there. Yeah.
yeah,
Which
because
is-
everyone else is like at this point it's Satan,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
There's
it's
all
a
these-
ghost. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
all these theories.
But I also like that, and I think that Rickman is sort of like playing this undercurrent without overplaying it in the movie. But the book specifically has Rishi be like, "I get it, my daughter, hot as hell."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Which is kind of gross how in detail they go.
Yeah. He's like,
bordering on
honestly,
incest.
honestly, if
Yeah.
I didn't feel so bad about it, probably try for something. But
Yeah.
anyhow, but I also like how that is like, well, I get it. This is why the murderer, because
Right.
the best,
Yeah.
just the best.
She's number one. He's working his way up.
Yes, Papa.
Honestly, the casting, I forget the actor's name. Is it like Rachel Hurd Wood plays? That?
Yeah.
the casting is kind of perfect because she's so unsettlingly young that you're just like, don't.
Yeah.
And and the way she says, Papa.
Yeah.
And of course, her mom's dead of the pox or whatever. And
Yeah. It's sort of the move.
There's also that moment in the movie where he's like hesitating before killing her.
Oh, right.
Where he's sort of enraptured by her beauty himself
Right.
for the first time, other than the scent of her, and he's like, "Should I?" And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I mean,
I
I've been
did
building
all
up
this
to
work.
it. What am I gonna not do it?
Right.
Yeah.
But what is her expression? Like, I think it's nice because it's so ambiguous. But like, what do you think is her expression when she sees him?
I thought maybe she is maybe the first person that finally sees him as himself, and then he's just like, "Oh, whatever, it's gone, it's gone."
I also thought
Because it's a weird moment for sure.
I thought it was like kind of like a recognition because she sees him in the maze, but she doesn't see him.
Right.
So I felt like when she sees him in her bedroom, it's a recognition of like, you were the person, you were the thing in the maze hunting me, and now here you are.
Right. And maybe putting it all the pieces together of like, oh, so you're the guy.
You're here for me.
You are the guy.
Yeah. Because she doesn't scream or anything.
Yeah, it's not like fear. That's
it is recognition for sure.
Yeah.
Of some kind. Yeah.
Well, so and at this point, like, they've moved out of the town. He's like trying to get her married.
Alan Rickman has a scheme to hide the fact
that they're in. Right, exactly.
Well,
like,
in the book,
secreting her
it's
away.
like, well, if I get her married and she's no longer a virgin, he will not kill her because all the women, all the young people, women who have been killed have been virgins.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if he spoils her,
It'll be right.
Jean
Exactly.
Baptiste will no longer want her.
Yeah.
Right. Which
the
Classic.
which the character kind of admits, like, it would have worked if you hadn't fucked up and assumed I wouldn't find you. Like,
just even going further a little back when he first figures out the system, there's a great moment in the movie where he there's the woman's dog, and then he comes back the next day and he puts a little on, and then the dog runs over and recognizes the scent,
and he's like, "Oh, it's working.
I did it." But anyway, so he breaks in, he kills her, he gets her scent, and then briefly thereafter he's captured, and they find all the clothes and the hair and his cabin, and he's going to be sent to trial. Which I was trying to remember. So the book, in the movie, it does sort of open in media res, where he's been captured.
He's been condemned.
Yeah,
and it's solely to set you up with he's not going to get out of this.
Right, exactly.
It's to pull the rug from under you.
Because I was like, oh, are they doing the you're never going to believe how he got here?
Yeah.
Which would almost work.
Turns out I'm a murderer.
It was right on the title. Which I would have been even then I was like, it's taken us on quite a journey to get back to here, so I can respect doing that to let you know where it's going. But there's a turn. There's a big turn coming. Also, his sentence in the book is so hardcore. They're gonna bash all his joints with a big steel rod, and I was like, I've never.
It's 12 blows.
12 blows,
and then they're gonna string him up on the cross.
Oh right, yes.
Until he dies.
Which
they're we
gotta
make sure we get this guy.
We're gonna. They're we're coming up with our most cartoonishly evil execution.
And also there's
the Max coming to town. Everyone's like, oh shit, I gotta go to this.
Well, and there's also the detail that there's similar to seppuku, that there's also then after that usually the mercy of and then we just strangle you and you're dead.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But not for this guy.
No.
This guy just gets to feel
cruel and unusual.
Gets to feel all 12 of those blows for as long as he's got left in him.
It's crazy. It's really well. Yeah. It's a nice opening. But so he's caught. He's condemned, and then basically. In both the book and the movie, he unveils his perfect perfume.
Well, but there just real quick, there's the weird water torture scene where they hang him upside down.
Yeah.
And
that perfume bottle's in his butt, right?
I thought it was in the cell.
I was thinking that the whole scene.
Where did he hide?
I was it's in his butt.
I thought it was in the cell, but yes.
No, I think it's in his butt, though.
Okay.
He can't that's his life's work. He's got to hold on to that.
Prisons have been the same forever, you know? something valuable. There's only one place to hide it.
When they catch him in the movie, he's cooking her essence in the forest, which I was like, bro, he wouldn't have done that. He would have gone away
into his own his lab.
Yeah.
No, he like basically is like just finished, and then like all these guys show up and they with old timey rifles.
Yeah. And he's like, just 1 minute.
Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, go ahead. Take it.
Now I'm going to put this in my butt.
Yeah.
Just to keep it safe.
And so we're at the public execution.
But real quick, but Rickman gets the great line that is in the I think in the narration of the book, but it's just like, I'm going to stare into your eyes and trickle hate into something like that. Which is great. Give Rickman all the lines about trickling hate into somebody's eyeballs or whatever.
Let's just say my review of Rickman's performance would be yes.
Recast.
He's incredible.
Yeah, he understood the assignment.
He's the nega Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
He's Bizarro Hoffman in this, where he's amazing. He's really good. So, anyways, we're at the big execution. And, in both senses, again, like one, if in the movie, again, as we described, it's more about him like unveiling his masterstroke. And then in the book, it's more about like him having a scent that can like bring him into society.
Yeah.
But he's made something too powerful.
Yeah.
He's made something so powerful. He puts like 2 drops on his head, and then
people are fucking in the streets.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Everybody when they see him are like, he's an angel. There's no way this man could do any wrong.
Creature.
The hangman is like, he's innocent.
And everyone just, it's like, it's party time. It's
party time.
It's Coors Light commercial where the train comes through and everyone's having an orgy.
The Kool-Aid man bursts through. Yeah.
I do like the way they did it in the film where he takes his handkerchief.
Dude, that flourish is so good.
It's kind of a nice, like almost to Giuseppe. It's almost like the way he uses his handkerchief to. It was very good. Yeah, there's a real flourish to it. And he gets himself free, and to the point where Rickman in the movie, it's both in the book, like basically like comes to him with a sword and wants to kill him.
Yeah,
and then
but
he's
he
like,
gets too close, man.
I can't. And then he wants to adopt him.
Yeah, he's like,
could you be my son?
Were your parents alive? They are dead. Good. Yes, you could be my son.
Be my boy.
And it's like, oh, it's so tragic, dude.
He's like, there's something about you that so reminds me of my daughter.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I think
maybe it's
think
her
about
soul.
It a bit longer, bro. Yeah. Maybe he's drenched in your daughter's soul.
Did you look at all his stuff? Did you see his big vat of animal fat?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll clue you into some things.
But I mean, the whole thing is that the scent is so powerful. There's no protection against it because people kind of dismiss scent.
Yes, right, exactly.
Or the scents entirely.
Right,
It's like a whatever. Vision is much more important. But he's like, no, this is people's souls are their smell, bro. Like I cracked it.
Yeah, I was correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like it's an amazing sort of euphoric moment.
I also love that idea, though, in both the book and movie, that like mass orgy, everyone there, even the clergy is having sex with, which of course they are, but but then like when it wears off and they wake up, they're just like, oh, this never happened.
We dreamed that.
That's so crazy. We all had the same dream.
It was a collective thing, right? Yeah, didn't happen.
In the book, it's like it goes against their character and their idea of reality so much that they just choose to forget it.
Dissociate.
Yeah,
we're not doing it. It's wild. And then basically the outcome of this is it's sort of the brilliance of a lot of great books and the way this is set up. But it's in film. But it's like he gets exactly what he wants. He gets like beyond his wildest dreams. He has created the most perfect smell that has ever been smelled. And then he's like, you know what? I fucking hate these people.
Yeah,
this
so
sucks.
He's like so. It's like this is repugnant. He's
turned off by them.
They don't deserve this. Like fuck this.
Yeah,
right.
These people are animals.
Yeah.
And so he returns to the spot of his birth and dumps himself with it and gets
with like enough to like control the world is like how it's described.
Yes, it's literally he could run the world from here on out if he wanted to. Like
he's like, fuck it.
Yeah, just I'm going to be like torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Like, because I send people into a manic frenzy over my my scent and body, and then
in the movie they make a point of like he gets everything he wants, but he realizes he'll never
be
have
whole.
the feeling. He'll never, because he doesn't have a soul.
There's like a little nuance there, but like the movie is definitely more like sort of like, he'll never have the love of the person he's murdering, and never have that feeling, and so he's
Whereas
like, fuck it.
in the book, he's just like, I fucking hate people, so I don't want to be here anymore.
They don't deserve
like
me. Yeah.
It's like he doesn't care about love. He's just like, this is who wants to be king shit.
Yeah.
Right, of these people.
Yeah.
Who
With no
live
teeth.
on Fuck Mountain. No.
Yeah, you get it.
What a terrible title of King Shit of Fuck Mountain. It sounds awful.
I think it's a pretty good title.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll give it to you.
Title of my memoir. So
Yeah. So, and that's basically... He allows himself to be destroyed in a frenzy of
Well, in the book, he's
inappreciation.
cannibalized.
Yeah, they literally eat him. Yeah,
They literally
leave.
eat him.
There's like only his clothes and like the bottle left. Right, is the only which is
I'm like, they're fucking chomping on the skeleton too, huh? In
just
the
don't
movie,
know what else.
there's
In the
just
movie.
like a bit of clothing. I'm like, God damn,
Yeah, it
bro.
looks like he gets raptured.
You guys are licking their fingers, man. Like shit. Jesus Christ.
smells really good.
Yeah.
What was that HBO show where the rapture happens?
Oh,
Leftovers.
His leftovers, yeah.
He gets leftover,
Yeah.
and then boom, he's gone. Like he was a one person leftover situation.
Yeah.
But they didn't leave any leftovers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Finger
They ate them all up.
Good.
Yeah, and that was there you go. The story of a misunderstood genius.
What did they call him an abomination? What in the beginning of the book?
Oh yeah, is it an abomination?
I can't remember.
He's
It's
like in an
something.
age of many abominations.
Yeah. The book, the narration.
Yeah, because they're comparing him to like Napoleon.
Yeah.
And all.
Yeah.
That's a great.
The
it's a great
asides
intro.
in the book are really funny.
It's
Like,
great. It's a really
Like
really
whatever
funny
So you would
point of
recommend
view
the
that
audiobook?
is.
Oh, the audiobook's really
audiobook's
fun. Yeah, he's
really
he's
good.
a great.
He captures it great.
So
Nigel,
what
right, or something like that.
Nigel Patterson.
Yeah.
And oh yeah,
This is great. The word is blackguard.
blackguard.
Let me see. His name was Jean-Baptiste Grenouille, and if his name, in contrast to the name of other gifted abominations, Desaades, for instance, or Saint-Just, Fouchés, Bonapartes, etc., has been forgotten today, it is certainly not because Grenouille fell short of those more famous blackguards when it came to arrogance, misanthropy, immorality, or more succinctly, to wickedness.
Yeah, it's a
Gifted abomination.
gifted
Yeah.
abomination. Yeah. I was going to say, apparently there was a previous version of the audiobook because this one came out in 2018. It was reread. That like the one of the first ones was like had like a real cult following because it was like a crazy performance where the guy was like sniffing into the camera, like, sniffing a lot. Would be like,
I kind of want to track it down, man. I kind of want to track it
smell
down.
of a baby's caramel and
Yeah.
like was doing a lot of sniffing into the
Interesting.
microphone. Yeah. So
Poopy doo.
poopy doo, poopy doo.
Yeah, no, the guy that does the
He's very
version
good.
we listen to is quite excellent.
Yeah, I would.
His Baldini is amazing.
is very good. Yeah, it's just like I love the heightened language of the book. Certainly, like it's a
Yeah.
really it's written
The
in
book
such
is
a style.
really funny in parts.
Yeah,
like
very funny.
purposely so.
Yeah,
I was
considering it's
very
written by a German
surprised by
guy,
that.
it's really funny.
Yeah, humorless people. as
So
we
you
all
guys
know.
liked it because it was your first time reading it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd seen
I
the
never read
movie
it,
a
yeah.
long time ago.
I really liked it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Kind of dark fairy tale vibes,
Yes.
which is very German. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. Do we have any other thoughts, or should we go round and do our votes?
Yeah, I think we're ready for votes.
Okay, so
Maybe.
first round.
Wait, hold on. I have one more thought. Sorry. Well, just there was one more thing I learned about the writer that I thought was interesting. So yeah, he's like also a screenwriter, playwright, did like everything. But at some point, because like the movie Kubrick was going to try to do it, other directors were going to try to do it. He ends up actually writing a movie about an author who's written an unfilmable book and what that experience is like, which is very funny. Called
Pull the Kaufman.
Yeah, it's called Rossellini, but it should very well. It could be unadaptation. It
Yeah.
should have been a good title. But yeah. So, anyways, I just like it's funny. Like it was such a like long process, and then at a certain point, it seems like he got very, very protective and wasn't going to sell the rights to anybody. And then even after he sold the rights to the other screenwriter,
Bernd Eichinger.
that's the one. Oh, Byrne, not Bernard. Yeah, sorry.
Bernie boy.
Bernie.
Bernie.
That it was, he sold the rights for $10 million of that guy's own money, and then it still took another 6 years to get it. And it was like, they approached a bunch of different people, like Julian Schnabel, like came up with a bunch of stuff that eventually went into Diving Bell and Butterfly. Like, I think his version, like they were basically going to just be first person on JP until like basically The Cave.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So it was going to just be everything was his point of view as like through smell.
That would have been
all
a
the way through
choice.
Baldini. Yeah, maybe not the right one, but
I don't know. Yeah,
but a lot of
Interesting,
the
but yeah.
techniques that Schnabel found were like he ended up using in that movie, Diving Bell and Butterfly, and then
Also in the Van Gogh movie.
yeah.
But
yeah. But and then they ended up and like Tom, the guy who ends up Tykwer. He is partially. It sounds like they pick him because again he's like not into costume dramas. He's like very anti that idea and like wanted to be really dirty. And then also it's just like it like Süskind sort of describes him as being like very creatively exhausted and beat down at that moment. And he's like he's perfect.
Yeah.
He like just got out of a relationship with Franca Potenta and like had made some short film about like their relationship as well. And so he was like he's in the perfect fertile creative mind space to do this.
Mold him.
And so anyways, it was a really crazy process.
What a pretty good
to
director
get
in his own right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Run,
And
Lola
this is
Run,
really well
Princess and
directed.
the Warrior. Yeah.
So, anyways, just a crazy process and like a lot of people, a lot of
ooh,
very
maybe
big.
Cloud Atlas should be my birthday pick.
That's another one.
I've been an apologist for that movie forever.
Right? Yeah, because
It's a hard movie to defend. Let me just say.
I've never seen it. Or
Yeah,
read
I
the
don't
book.
know if you'd like it, bro. But it's got a lot.
a hearty recommend there.
It's hard to defend, bro. But
Yeah.
I do love that movie.
Right, because he's like the third co-director on that with the Wachowskis.
Wachowski Starship.
Correct.
Yeah, so he's cool career. But yeah, the other guy was Milos Forman. Was like, I think was Süskind's other guy. He's the only one who can do it, and then Forman was like, nah, I'm good. So anyways,
Yeah,
just a crazy way.
The kind of guy who gets like the Mozart that's in Amadeus is the kind of guy that probably would get
This-
JB.
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, it's a crazy process of adaptation. It took so long, like 17 years, is that right? Or longer. It came out in 85, like 20 plus years to get to screen. So yeah. Anyways, that was the last thing. Now we can do the real last thing.
So the first round is, did we like the book? I think this is very obvious, but Elisa, did you like the book?
I loved the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the book.
I also love the book quite a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I would give it like 10 out of 10. Just excellent novel. Okay.
I will say I've almost read this book many times because I would pick it up randomly at work or whatever, and I'd read the first page and be like, damn, this is fucking good. I got to read this. And then I wouldn't because laziness is a way of life. So,
Well, can I tell you the opposite? I've almost never read this book and had no idea it existed until we decided to do it for this podcast.
no.
And I
Excellent.
had no knowledge of the book or movie.
That's
like truly,
crazy.
Completely. So
the movie
it had
is
slid
especially
by
crazy.
me.
Yeah. Okay.
And anyway, so here we are. And I loved it. It was
Yeah.
great. It's an amazing book.
It's a fantastic book. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice pick. The movie. Elisa, did you like the movie?
Well, as we discussed, there's so many elements of this book which you could have focused on. Can I add a question? Can I add a question to the
sure.
round?
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
So,
Odd
did you
questions.
like the movie, and would you like it to be remade?
Okay. Love it.
So, I really liked the movie. I think at the time it was created, I do want to knock it a bit because Tootsie's in it, but that was, I think, the mortal flaw because he's such an essential character.
Yeah.
And even though it is funny,
Yeah.
I think it kind of.
Well, I think in the Wikipedia it says that Tom Tykwer like thought of him first, and I'm like, why?
In what world?
Yeah.
I mean,
don't know.
Baldini's so significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you should honestly just get the audiobook to hear his version.
Really?
of
Okay.
Baldini. It's so fucking good.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but I do like the film, but I
Yeah.
do think the book is better.
Oh, we jumped ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. Oh,
No,
sorry,
it doesn't
Dale.
matter, bro.
No, I know. I'm
Doesn't
joking.
matter at all.
It's a podcast. Of course, nothing matters.
So you think it deserves a chance to be remade? Then?
Well, I don't know if anybody could play JB better,
Yeah.
honestly. So I feel like maybe this could be the one, but I
just bring him back, right? Isn't that what you said?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
bring him back, dude.
But I feel
He's still pretty youthful looking.
It's true. He really
it's
is.
like, okay, I'm going to make a mess of this now, but it's just like, I don't feel like Suspiria ever should have been remade, but he approached it in such a different way
Yeah.
that it makes it almost a different, it's almost a different movie. So
Right.
I feel like,
That's an interesting take. Yeah.
so
I
if
could see
someone
that.
remade it, I would definitely see it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it needs to be remade, but I would be interested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get that little freak Barry Keoghan. He might do
Oh,
it.
He can't play
would be
all the
good.
freaks,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, he can't play them all.
When you got a corner, you got to stand on your corner. And he says, "I'm a freak."
Give the
Let
other
me play
freak
the scent
actors
freak.
a chance, is what I'm saying.
Just not Timmy
Yeah, no Timmy.
and no Robert
Oh, you know it's
Pattinson.
gonna
Oh,
be.
yeah.
I think Robert Pattinson is pretty good, though.
Really?
He wouldn't be good in this.
Timmy
Yeah.
is French, though.
That's true.
So
Timothée.
Yeah. I mean, he could be Willy Wonka and
Right.
John
He
Baptiste.
Nailed them all.
he's the master of chocolate and scents. Could work. Could work. What if they did
Me-
at Wonka style, where it's a musical?
Oh, geez.
Oh,
It's a
boy.
musical
Perfume
directed by
musical.
Paul Kane.
What do you think of this? Timmy as Baldini.
Nah.
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, I think we got to do it. I think we
Yeah.
can book it right now. Yeah. Well, so I will say there have been not remakes, but like other new things made with like the general idea of like a perfume serial killer that are technically based on the book.
Really?
They're both on Netflix. One's a show, and it's like they're very weird. Like they've modernized it. They're both in the modern era. So one is like.
Oh, you're losing a lot with that.
It's immediately they're not. I don't know how. I guess they just have to, and I think it's their German shows, so they're just like trying to draft off the ultimate popularity of the book and the movie. But it's like one is like a woman is found and her scent glands have been removed, and like which one of her classmates killed her, and it's like a 6-episode miniseries. And then there's one where a woman is like a police detective and she's like trying to save her relationship and regain her scent of smell, and they're both technically based on
Oh my God.
perfume.
You
It's
gotta-
really
you gotta
crazy.
be
Yeah,
kidding me,
I know.
bro.
So they're out there.
So there's
I mean,
an expanded perfume universe. Is
yeah,
what you're
we're
saying?
building a PXU. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, it's they're out there. There are
Interesting.
versions out there. So, I like the movie as well. I liked it, but there are some glaring
Yeah.
flaws.
I think the final scene, though, is pretty epic.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It builds really nicely
Yeah.
to that for sure.
I mean, I saw the movie first because I'd already been a fan of his because I love Run, Lola Run and Princess and the Warrior, which is a great, also kind of a fable-ish
Yeah.
movie.
Prince, like that was when this finished. I literally was like, I got to rewatch Princess.
I
and the
also
Warrior.
got to rewatch that because that
Yeah.
movie fucking bangs. But I really like the movie. I still like the movie quite a bit, but like after experiencing what the book version is, it's like, oh, buddy. You did miss a few things, but like I had already seen the movie first, so it's sort of in my brain as one thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. That book is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same for me. Like I saw the movie first, like probably when it first came out on DVD, and it always stuck with me. I think in my head, I always thought of it as like a misfire because it wasn't a success in the U.S. But then like seeing that it was, big worldwide, and then like rewatching it, I would still probably. I said again, jumping ahead, book 10 out of 10. I would still give the movie like 8 out of 10.
I would say the
Yeah.
movie is lovingly crafted.
Yeah.
Like as in terms of directing, like the movie is quite excellent.
But
The choices they made in the story is what really messes it up.
I do also agree with what Elisa was saying, that a lot of the stuff that is more slashery, that is more sort of like we are telling a murder story, feels a lot more pat than what is coming from the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also would I'd give a remake a chance, but I don't know if anyone's gonna get it.
Right.
As close as he got, I don't know if anyone else is gonna get.
Yeah, I don't
that
feel like it
close.
needs a modernization, but like there's
definitely
that,
don't set it in
yearn
the
for like a
modern-
tweak of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know if anyone's gonna, because this movie costs a lot of money, and I mean it was 60.
It looks
It looks
expensive.
incredible.
Yeah.
and like I just don't
none
know.
of those orgy people are CG. They're
No,
clearly
that is
That's a
bunch-
full orgy.
a bunch of like people in
orgy.
peasant
They
dress.
put them over budget, the
yeah,
orgy.
1,000. Their
My
per
favorite
diems-
thing was watching the extras overacting during that
Yes.
orgy
I
mean,
scene
yes.
because
Yes.
people are eating. They're having a meal in that scene.
Gotta do it.
It is
Gotta do-
ridiculous.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So the final thing, which I think we all sort of know, but we'll do it anyways. Which is better, book or movie? Elisa.
I already said the book. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
The book.
Yeah, I gotta go book for sure.
Yeah. It's unanimous. That book is so stinking good.
Yeah.
The book wins. Yay!
You did the pun there. Stinking good. Okay, but of course now we have to talk about Nirvana.
Yeah.
Oh, Sunless Apprentice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I felt like once I learned that, I was just like, wow, like I feel like that Kurt Cobain must have really identified with JB, because it's like given his history of his life and where he came from, and then he rose to the top of the world and then didn't want to be part of it anymore.
Yeah. Very
Like
much.
I just remember like when he died, like everybody crying and sobbing, and like literally these people would eat Kurt Cobain if they had the choice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, God,
sure.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
was
he
like,
talked
ooh.
about literally like carrying around a copy with him at all times. I mean, the other guy who was apparently a huge fan, Justin, you'll know his name, the lead singer of NXS.
Oh, Michael Hutchins?
Yeah, apparently in the like Kylie Minogue doc that came out recently, he's like constantly quoting Perfume and is obsessed with it, and meets a similar end to Kurt Cobain. So I mean, it's like I think the feeling of alienation is like very palpable and like something those guys could
being
relate
so
to.
good at something that it destroys your life.
Separates you from people. Yeah.
And like jumping through all these hoops to get to this spot, and then once you're at the top of the world, you realize,
oh fuck, I don't feel any better.
Yeah.
Damn. Whoops.
So
I guess eat me now.
He's like, well, I guess I didn't want 12 blows with an iron pipe, but you can rip me to shreds, sure.
Go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, recommend both if you have the time.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I
Agreed,
easy
yeah.
recommend for both.
But read the book first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book's just so good. Yeah.
The book is, man, I'm blown away about how good that book is. It's so good.
They may not even have to remake it. What if we just like digitally re-enter someone who's not Dustin Hoffman? We just
Pull in all the money in the
changed
world
a
and just like
few.
recast and just like
if only Chris Plummer was available, that would be great. If he hadn't died.
Who does the narration in the movie? It's I know it's someone
John Hurt.
I knew it was
that's
someone I
good.
recognized.
I think I was reading on Wikipedia that it's like different for each like country.
region?
So like German has its own narrator and so on, but like for English speaking, it's John Hurt.
That's good.
And he's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much
this
for
was
being here,
amazing.
Elisa. Is there anything you want to plug?
Other than Heat 2,
Yeah. Keep tuned for that once Driver and Austin Butler are in it.
you can read the book. The book is great. It's really fun.
As the person who runs our staff picks, that's my favorite staff pick we've ever had.
I'm completely
Top
floored by that.
Top 0.01% of all staff pick blurbs.
Very good.
But no, listen to other episodes. I would recommend Emily's, Michael's.
Very nice.
Continue to support the store. And bon voyage to Austin. I keep calling you Austin.
man.
Tyler.
I got him my whole life.
He's got an Austin vibe. Man.
Yeah, well.
Can you bring us back some perfume from France?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, la
I'm bringing
la.
Elizabeth back cigarettes, so
Okay, bring us back
I'll
something
bring some perfume,
French.
too.
Yeah.
You come back in that turquoise suit, the flourish.
We all want handkerchiefs.
We're all fanning you like, oh, he's returned. The prince has
let me-
returned.
do a little twirl and I'll do it. We'll do it. First
good.
day back.
But no, thank you again. No, this was really fun.
Oh,
Thank you.
Totally.
Thank you.
And because someone is going to France to get married, we're going to take a month off, but then most likely we're coming back for something very grand indeed. The premiere appearance of the Bodice Rippin' Boys. We're going to talk some Bridgerton with our good friends Allison and Natalie.
Oh, can I also just say, I was going to make a perfume quiz like I did for Goosebumps, but I got too lazy. But I kind of wish I had done it.
Of like fake perfume.
I was either gonna do name of perfume, which one is real,
yeah.
or like I don't know. Doesn't matter.
All right.
I just forgot that I wanted to do
Well,
that.
that was an excellent idea that was
good.
not executed.
I know. I should have. I really should have. Oh well. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, alternate timeline, people are enjoying the hell out of that. But yeah, so keep checking out the podcast. We got some delicious interviews coming up for you. Better Than the Movie will be back in like 2 months, and we'll be doing Better Than the TV show.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, just as a quick plug for myself, as of right now on the Skylight feed, you can listen to my interview with Jeff Shackelford about his book Golf Architecture for Normal People. which that's an oxymoron. That's not possible. But if you're interested in golf architecture and you're not a normal person, you can read this book and it's great. And you can hear me talk to him about it. So I recommend it.
Cool. I'm going to cut all that and
Damn, got him.
Golf rocks.
Come check us out at the store, or buy something from our website, or just support independent.
Be nice to booksellers.
Yeah.
Be nice to booksellers. Yeah.
And smell you later.
Au revoir.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Skylight Books podcast series. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to check out the book featured in this episode, or others, please visit skylightbooks.com. If you're in the Los Angeles area, stop by for one of our live in-person author events. You can find a calendar on our website. If you like this podcast, leave us a review. It really helps us out. Our music is by Duck the Piano Wire. Till next time.